What's up, everybody? It's Peter Tragos here, the lawyer you know. And if you know anything about me, you know I am a civil plaintiff's lawyer. I handle injury cases, but it is civil litigation where we file lawsuits against companies, corporations, or other people for wrongs that they have done or damages that they have caused in order to get a money judgment, or what happens in most cases, which is a settlement where both parties come to an agreement and make something happen to resolve this case. And many times this doesn't happen without either threat of a lawsuit or actually filing a lawsuit and a threat of a trial before a jury or a judge to make a determination when two parties or two people cannot come to an agreement about who's right or how much something is worth. And today we learned that lesson in cases we've been following together as a YouTube community, not once, but twice. Alec Baldwin has settled his case along with other parties involved against with Helena Hutchins for the wrongful death case that she sued Alec Baldwin and other parties for, her family. We've talked about that in another video, but this video is going to be about Twitter and Elon Musk, who have had a very public and a very nasty fight about who's lying about what, how much something's worth, how much it should cost, what percentage are bots, whether or not the company should be valued as it was with the original offer from Elon Musk, whether or not it was a legitimate offer, whether or not it can be broken, whether or not he can do due diligence and what that due diligence looks like. We heard all about the different fights. What do I always say when we talk about civil cases? Most of them settle. Johnny Depp wins a huge civil judgment in a highly contested civil lawsuit. Yet we hear about this other little one out there where somebody accused him of punching him on set. And, people thought, no way, Johnny's never going to settle. He's never going to admit anything. Well, you don't have to admit something when you settle. Sometimes it just is the right decision to settle a case. Sometimes there is some wrongdoing that you admit, at least partially. And again, if that happens, you settle the case. And we saw Johnny Depp settle that case. So let's talk a little bit about why Elon Musk and Twitter settled, what we know about that settlement, and whether or not it's really over. So thanks for joining us for this video today. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, go ahead and hit it. Like this video if you're interested in the Elon Musk and Twitter content, because that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And if you know anybody interested in this content from the legal point of view, send them this video. Let them know about my page because I'd love to have them join our community here. So let's take a look here at a description of what has happened in this case. Gentlemen, on behalf of X Holdings 1, Inc., X Holdings 2, Inc., and Elon Musk, the Musk parties, these are all just basically Elon Musk or his companies, we write to notify you that the Musk parties intend to proceed to closing of the transaction contemplated by the April 25th, 2022 merger agreement on the terms and subject to the conditions set forth therein and pending receipt of the proceeds of the debt financing contemplated thereby, provided that the Delaware Chancery Court enter an immediate stay of the action, Twitter versus Musk et al., and adjourn the trial and all other proceedings related thereto pending such closing or further order of the court. So what does that mean? That means, listen, we cry uncle. We're done. Let's stop this lawsuit. We are not only going to close, but we're going to close under the parameters we already agreed to. We're going to close for the price we already agreed to. We're going to close with the conditions we already agreed to in the original agreement. Seems like a huge win for Twitter, but I don't necessarily know if we understood everything Elon Musk was trying to do, what he may have gotten in discovery that may have made it worth it. You see behind me, there is some stuff going on because we're doing some cool stuff here. So sorry the background doesn't look as clean as it usually does. All right, paragraph 2. The Musk parties provide this notice without, before we get there, first paragraph, what they want in return, stay the proceedings, meaning stop pushing us towards trial, tell the court to hold everything off, get rid of the trial date, let's try to close this deal. Doesn't mean it's closed, right? There's still some debt financing and some other things they have to deal with. But they're not fighting about the bots and the other things, the misrepresentations and things like that. That's all gone. They're going to say we're good to go under these conditions, but we need the court to pause everything because we may not be able to close this deal by the time the trial date comes. Paragraph 2, the Musk parties provide this notice without admission of liability, saying we didn't do anything wrong. We're not saying we did anything wrong. We're not saying that what we said about you and the bots and the material misrepresentations is not true. We're not making any admissions here. We're just saying, fine, we'll pay this because it seems like the right decision at this point, either from a business point of view, a moral point of view, whatever reason it is, they are deciding to settle it, but it is not because they have done anything wrong or said anything that wasn't true. And without waiver of or prejudice to any of their rights. So what does that mean? Well, if you dismiss a case with prejudice, you can't bring it back. If you dismiss it without prejudice, you can bring it back. They're saying, we're going to dump this without prejudice. And we're not waiving any of our rights. Well, what rights do you mean? Because I thought you said we weren't going to fight about the bots and the material misrepresentations. I thought we weren't going to fight about that. I thought that's the point of settling. Why would Twitter want to settle the case if they're still going to reserve right to fight about that stuff? Not necessarily. What they're not waiving here comes after the comma, including their right to assert the defenses and counterclaims pending in the action, including in the event the action is not stayed, Twitter fails or refuses to comply with its obligations under the April 25th, 2022 merger agreement, or if the transaction completed thereby otherwise fails to close. So what they're saying is, if the court doesn't stay this case and we have to still go to trial, we're going to go to trial and we're not agreeing to buy Twitter. Or number two, if something happens with their defenses or counterclaims, they're not waiving them if they still pop up in the future. And number three, if Twitter does something that breaches the contract, additional to what Elon Musk may know at this point, but he reserves the right to say they could still breach this contract in the future because it is not actually closed. Money hasn't exchanged hands. So I don't want to waive any of that. So we're not waiving any of that. If any problems arise in the future, we want to have the right to file another lawsuit or amend this lawsuit or continue this claim if we need to. So why settle? Why settle if you're Twitter? Why settle if you're Elon Musk? Well, because the big problems have gotten out of the way, and it looks like, once again, Elon Musk and the Musk parties are going to purchase Twitter for the agreed upon amount under the conditions they agreed upon, as long as the court stays this case and no new issues pop up. But when you're dealing with billions of dollars, companies like Twitter and the Musk parties, more things could always pop up. But this is just yet another example that 90+% of the time, civil litigation in the United States ends in a settlement, not in a trial. Very different from criminal cases, okay? So don't get confused with criminal cases. They go to trial all the time. But it's very unusual to see a civil case like this go to trial. Same thing with Alec Baldwin, and same thing with a lot of the civil cases we discussed on this channel. But what I want to know from you is, do you think it was a good idea for Twitter or for Elon Musk? Who does this look better for? Does this look like a win for Elon Musk? And you can put that in the comments. Or does this look like a win for Twitter? And if you think it's a win for Twitter, put Twitter in the comments, because I want to know what you all think as the general public who have seen this public battle and now see what this settlement looks like and what this agreement looks like and what the outcome of this case is. Who does this look like a win for? Musk or Twitter? Let me know in the comments. And again, like this video if you haven't already on your way out. Thanks for being with us, and let me know what you think about this video in the comments.